Every ending is also a beginning, and sometimes the hardest steps bring the clearest views. If you dare to take the first step, the path will teach you to see things differently, finding peace in the uncertain, hope in the unknown, and a deeper love for the freedom you find on the journey.
Welcome to Cuento Resonante, Episode 19, Journey On. Journey On is a story of self-discovery, kindness, and the joys and challenges encountered along life's journey. In this fictional story, the main character is an old man, unassuming in appearance, but rich in wisdom and kindness, who travels the world with only a small backpack and a harmonica for company. Along the old man's journey, simple encounters become meaningful moments. An act of kindness given to a stranger, the sharing of a story or a song, a meal enjoyed in good company. Through the old man's interactions with those he meets, a struggling mother, curious children, a young traveler at a crossroads, the book explores themes of compassion, letting go, and finding home not in a destination, but in each step of the journey itself. His humble acts of kindness ripple outward, reminding us how gentle attention and generosity can transform both the giver and the receiver. Journey On is more than just a travel story. It is an invitation to move through the world with openness, to see beauty in the everyday, and to allow each experience to become a thread in the tapestry of our lives. Whether you are setting out on your own journey or simply on the metaphorical journey of life, this story may inspire you to walk lightly, give freely, and to journey on. Now, on with the story. Journey On.
Journey On. Chapter 1. The Old Man and His Backpack.
He was not remarkable at first glance. A silver beard, lean frame, skin mapped by years under open skies. The old man moved through towns and forests with the steady calm of someone who had long ago left hurry behind. What most people noticed, though, was the backpack, battered canvas, patched in places with fabric from far-off lands, always resting lightly on his shoulders. He carried just enough: a rolled blanket, a weathered notebook, a tin cup, a harmonica nestled in a zipper case, and a long, knotted cord that doubled as a belt, a washing line, and sometimes as a gift to a fellow traveler. Each piece in his pack had its story and purpose, so he carried only those things he felt essential to his journey. On a summer morning at the edge of a mountain town, he paused to watch the pale mist burn off a wildflower field. He closed his eyes and listened, not just for birdsong and the melodic sounds of nature, but for the quiet invitation to begin anew, leaving his past behind as if an old friend were saying, "Happy New Day." When he played his harmonica, the music lilted like the morning breeze, notes meandering out across the land to whoever cared or happened to listen. Children sometimes followed him for a block or two, whispering and laughing at his dog-eared hat atop his pack or on his head. Shopkeepers waved him to come to them, and he would trade stories for bread, hum a tune, or play his harmonica in exchange for coffee. He never seemed hurried, and those around him felt their own pace slow in his presence, creating a pause from the world's constant, restless movement. He slept where evening found him, riversides, under old bridges, in city parks when the weather was gentle. He left each place as if he had never been there, except perhaps for a smile in someone's memory, or a melody someone would hum on their walk home. Some say he wandered because he could not settle. Others suspected he was searching for something left behind. The truth was simpler: a quiet commitment to travel light, live well, and find joy and meaning in each step, in each moment of his journey, seeking the meaningful balance of purpose, passion, and presence that makes every moment worth living, all while practicing the golden rule: treat others as you would like to be treated. He never felt lost, nor wished for more. Each morning, after quiet solitude and playing a tune on his harmonica, he tucked his harmonica back into the pack, looked up at the sky with a soft, thankful nod, and gave thanks for another day. There was work to be done that didn't feel like work at all, and many people yet to meet on the long, unwinding road.
Chapter 2: Encounters on the Winding Road.
The old man's journey was never hurried, but on this particular day, the road curved gently alongside a bubbling creek, flanked with wild blackberries and the scent of pine lingering in the air. As he walked, boots leaving soft impressions in the damp earth, he greeted those who passed with a smile that seemed to disarm even the wariest travelers. An elderly woman stood outside the gate to her property, struggling with a faulty latch. Without a word, the old man paused, set his backpack down, and with skilled hands made quick work of the repair. The woman offered him a handful of plums, which he accepted with a grateful nod and a soft song from his harmonica, a melody as light as the morning's breeze. Further along, a group of children clustered near the edge of a small bridge, peering into the water below. He joined them quietly, lowering his elderly body to their level, his backpack resting beside him. They showed him the flicker of tiny fish, their eyes wide with wonder. He listened, truly listened, and then, using nothing but a length of twine and a twig from his pack, fashioned a makeshift fishing rod. Sharing laughter under the shade, the children took turns dipping the line into the stream, hoping a fish would latch onto the twine. It was not always laughter and lightness on the winding road. Later that day, as clouds gathered and the distant rumble of thunder echoed through the hills, the old man came upon a young mother sheltering her child from the impending rain beneath the scant cover of an old tree. He shrugged off his pack, produced his blanket, and offered it to them with a simple, reassuring gesture, asking no questions. Mother and child huddled together, shielded by both wool and comfort, without words as the storm rolled past. By the time the rain stopped, the old man was already walking, water beating off his hat, the melody of his harmonica gradually fading and leaving lingering hope in the air. The winding road was never the same 2 days in a row. Sometimes it was a place of joyful encounter, Other times, it was a silent witness to someone's need. In each meeting, whether through a repaired gate, sharing food, a moment's attention, or a blanket given away, the old man moved lightly, leaving only kindness in his wake. Wherever he went, it seemed the world was just a little more gentle, a better place, if only for a moment.
Chapter 3. Harmonica at Sunset.
Evening found the old man on the edge of a quiet village, where the last rays of sunlight danced across a meadow shimmering with the sights and sounds of insects, welcoming the setting of the sun. He wandered beyond the familiar houses to where a lonely picnic bench overlooked a golden pond. There, he set his pack down gently and sat, letting the stillness gather around him. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Dragonflies floated above the water. A pair of swallows dipped low, and somewhere in a far field, the soft toll of a distant church bell sounded. The old man drew out his harmonica, cradling it like a friend, and lifted it to his lips, joining in with the melodic sounds of nature, as if he were just another member of the band. The song that rose was slow and wistful, winding through the dusk, like stories told after a journey's end. Each note felt both old and new, a tune learned by riverside, refined in city parks, and softened by memory. The music gathered echoes, children's laughter from earlier in the day, the hush of rain on canvas, and the quiet humility of sharing food. For the old man, playing here was not a performance, but a kind of communion, an unspoken conversation with the evening itself. A few villagers, curious, wandered close enough to hear. Children sat cross-legged at a respectful distance, wrapped in the novelty of the moment. An older couple paused their walk, leaning on each other, letting the melody wash over them. The music asked nothing and promised nothing except a quiet invitation to listen, to feel, and to be. For the listening crowd, time seemed to stand still. Thoughts they needed to think began to flow freely, answers came, and dreams and their love for life were renewed. As the sun slipped behind the hills, the old man's tune slowed to a whisper. Night crept in, painting the meadow in indigo and silver. Before he tucked the harmonica away, he closed his eyes, savoring the last note and letting silence settle around him, a silence now subtly changed by the music that had passed through it. He shouldered his pack once more, feeling lighter somehow, and offered a small wave to those still nearby. As he turned down a dusty lane, his step was easy, his purpose quiet but clear: to keep walking, to keep sharing the small gifts and acts of kindness that made each day its own, and to let his music find those who needed it most, even if just for a moment at sunset.
Chapter 4: Kindness in Unexpected Places.
The village had begun to settle into its evening routines, lamplight flickering in window panes and laughter spilling from kitchens. The old man wandered its lanes, keenly attuned to the gentle hush that marked the day's end. Each street and every doorstep seemed to hold stories waiting just beneath the surface. Near the bakery, he passed a boy and his grandmother quietly stacking unsold loaves. Without hesitation, the old man hoisted a crate for them, his weathered hands steady and sure. In return, the grandmother pressed a still warm roll into his palm. He accepted it with a nod and a smile, savoring the soft, yeasty warmth as he wandered on, one kindness exchanged for another, as natural as breathing. The old traveler seldom had money, believing that kindness was the best form of currency. Later, outside a tiny repair shop, he encountered a young woman hunched over her bicycle, frustration creasing her brow. Her bicycle chain had slipped, and her hands trembled with impatience. He kneeled beside her, showing her how to set the chain with calm, careful movements. No hurry, no fuss. She watched the easy rhythm of his work, her irritation replaced by curiosity and finally, gratitude. As he rose to leave, she asked,
"How do you always seem to know what to do?"
He simply smiled, brushing the grease from his hands.
It's not that I know. I just seem to notice what's needed. And somehow, when what is needed is not for me but for others, I seem to gain an extra measure of wisdom to accomplish what they need help with. Accomplishing the same task for myself as I do for others seems more cumbersome and difficult.
The night air was fresh as he walked out of town. On the edge of a low stone wall, he found an old orange tabby cat, its fur matted and eyes wary. The old man removed the last of his bread, crumbling it softly for the stray cat. He sat for a while, stroking the cat's back, untangling the matted hair, and humming a quiet tune until the animal's purr vibrated against the hush of evening. To those watching, these gestures seemed small, unremarkable, but for the old man, every moment was a chance to give shape to kindness by seeing what others overlooked and meeting a need without fanfare or expectation. As he left the village that night, his pack a little lighter from giving, but his happiness full, he carried with him an unspoken lesson. The road was not just for wandering, but for weaving invisible threads of compassion wherever his journey led.
Chapter 5: Meeting the Young Traveler.
The morning was cool and misty, the kind of newness that made each leaf shine with quiet promise. The old man ambled along a dirt path just outside the village, the grass wet against his boots, when he first spotted the young traveler. He was waiting by a crossroads, backpack slouched heavily at his side, eyes fixed on a faded map he held with uncertain hands. His clothes were practical but too clean, his hair just a touch too neat for someone accustomed to the road. There was a hesitation in the way he held himself, a tension at odds with the easy rhythm of the path and sky. The old man approached with a gentle nod.
Lost?
He asked, his voice a low ripple among the morning sounds. The young man looked up, startled, but relieved to find a companion on this empty stretch.
Maybe. I'm trying to get to the coast, but the roads keep splitting, and
He faltered, embarrassed by his own uncertainty. The old man smiled.
The world is full of crossroads,
He said.
but they're just places to decide, not traps.
He sat on a low stone nearby and drew his harmonica from the side pocket of his pack, turning it in his hands as if it might point north. The young man's curiosity awakened once more.
Do you mind if I walk with you?
The young man asked, quickly adding,
Only until the next town, if that's all right.
The old man gestured to the road ahead.
I'm walking that way. You're welcome to join.
As they set off, the young man fell into step, trying to match the old man's unhurried gait. The silence between them was comfortable, filled with bird calls and the soft crunch of gravel. After a while, curiosity overcame shyness.
Have you been traveling long?
He asked.
A good while, long enough to lighten my pack and find peace in my journey.
The young man glanced at his own heavy bag.
Is it hard, living like this, out here all the time?
The old man's eyes flickered with quiet amusement.
Only if you carry too much or the wrong things in your backpack and carry the wrong things in your mind and in your heart.
With each mile, the young man found himself watching the old man. He watched the way the old man greeted every passerby, sometimes with a word, sometimes with a smile, sometimes with a wave, sometimes only with a patient silence that listened before hoping to be heard. He saw how the old man noticed wild onions growing at the path's edge and plucked a few to tuck into his lunch bag, sharing half with his new companion. As noon approached and the mist gave way to sunlight, the young man realized that something was happening. His steps felt lighter, his worries less sharp. He was simply there, caught up in the gentle rhythm of the walk, the newness of the journey, and the silent lessons being offered without a single lecture. For the first time on his journey, he felt he might be on the right road, no longer just a road to the west coast, but to somewhere much more important. He somehow felt that his destination was much less important than the journey, this journey he was presently on. Never had he felt more at home when arriving at a destination than he felt now, in the present moment, walking step by step in his present journey.
Chapter 6. Lessons by the Campfire.
The sun slid low, bathing the trees in gold as the two travelers found a clearing beside a gentle brook. The old man set his pack down and began to gather kindling without fuss. The young traveler watched, eager but cautious about interfering, until the old man nodded his quiet approval for him to help. Together, they built a small, crackling fire. As the old man brewed tea in a tin pot, the young man, still a bit nervous, opened a can of beans and handed it over as a humble contribution for their meal. The old man smiled warmly, added a few wild onions he had foraged into the can, and placed it on the fire to warm the food. When the meal was ready, he divided it evenly onto 2 tin plates and poured tea into 2 tin cups. Sitting side by the campfire, they shared the simple food and sipped hot tea, letting the quiet of the night gently settle around them. They ate in companionable quiet, the fire's warmth pulling shadows deeper into the woods. Finally, the young traveler broke the hush.
How do you know what to bring?
He asked, glancing at his own bulging backpack, then at the few well-worn things the old man carried. The old man thought for a moment.
I bring what's needed, what I know I'll use, what fits my hands and my habits. If it weighs me down or if I find I rarely use it, I let it go.
He looked at the young traveler directly.
You don't need much to live. The lighter your load, the more you notice. Hunger sharpens flavor, and a night's sleep is sweeter if you've earned it by walking.
The young man poked at the fire, thinking quietly.
But what about comfort? Don't you ever miss home or things you used to have?
Sometimes,
The old man said gently.
but the world offers comfort everywhere. Sunshine in the morning, warm soup on a cold night, a stranger's smile when you need it. Home is not made of sticks and bricks, nor is it what you carry on your back. It is what you carry within, in the way you see each new day. I have come to realize that the journey itself is my home, and as long as I am on life's journey, I am at home. Those who find themselves homeless or abandoned can also find a home simply by being willing to set out on their own journey. Home is not a physical place, but wherever you find yourself on the journey. This way of thinking allows anyone to have a home that is large enough for everyone. I choose to call planet Earth my home, and I feel most at home during the journey, rather than at any one particular destination.
After dinner, the old man cleaned the dishes in the brook, then took out his harmonica. The melody he played was simple but full, something peaceful that floated out into the darkness and mingled with the music of the brook. The young traveler listened, feeling the worry in his chest loosen and fade. When the tune ended, they sat in silence, each finding their own gratitude in that small circle of firelight. The old man tended the flames with practiced hands, and the young man realized the lesson was not just about gear or travel, but about seeing the world for what it was, and choosing each moment what to carry, what to give away, and what to let go. As the moon rose, the old man lay back on his blanket, humming softly, his gaze tracing the patterns of the stars. The young traveler followed suit, unfolding his own blanket and gazing upward, quietly harmonizing his humming with the old man's. For the first time since setting out, he felt truly at peace with the gentle mystery of the road ahead.
Chapter 7. Lightening the Load, Inside and Out.
Dawn broke quietly, coaxing soft light through the leaves above their little camp. The young traveler awoke to the scent of dew and the distant hush of the brook. The old man was already up, stretching with the ease of habit, his pack open beside him as he sorted through its contents. The young traveler sat up, rubbing his eyes. He glanced at his own backpack, lumpy and overstuffed. It leaned against a tree, its large size a physical example of his lingering fears and his thinking, what if I need this or that? He watched as the old man examined each item he owned, a shirt, a cup, an old novel, his harmonica, and a few other carefully chosen things. Each object was both humble and essential, their purposes clear. Noticing the young man's gaze, the old man nodded an invitation.
Let's see what you're traveling with.
Reluctantly, the young traveler brought his pack to the fire, unzipping it layer by layer. They made a small pile of everything. There were 3 shirts, 2 pairs of shoes, an umbrella, 2 half-empty notebooks, a heavy camera, boxes of snacks, and odds and ends he'd picked up along the way, things that seemed important at the time. The old man picked up a second pair of shoes, weighing them in his hands.
How many pairs of feet do you have?
He asked, voice warm with gentle humor.
1.
The young traveler replied sheepishly, glancing down. They went through the pile together. The old man didn't command, nor did he judge. He shared little stories, a shirt he once carried too long, a pen he never used, how letting go had never left him wanting. It wasn't about deprivation, but about clarity. What you keep, you know why you keep.
What about this?
The old man asked, holding up the umbrella. The young traveler hesitated.
I guess I thought it would make rain less troublesome.
The old man smiled.
Sometimes it's simpler to get wet and dry off by the fire.
They repacked together, selecting only what the young man truly needed, placing everything else aside to be given away to fellow travelers or left at the next shelter. The pack was lighter, noticeably so. The young man shifted it onto his shoulders, at first uncertain, then surprised at his newfound freedom. As they stepped onto the trail once more, the young traveler felt the difference, not only on his back, but within. Each step was easier. His mind wandered more, not to worries about what he might need, but to the steady beauty of the road, the gentle rhythms of the day. They walked in companionable silence, the old man humming quietly, his harmonica tucked safely in his pocket. The young traveler realized that the journey was not just about miles covered, but about the burdens released, both seen and unseen. In the soft gold of morning sun, the world seemed wider, and the path ahead seemed to welcome him home.
Chapter 8. The Rhythm of Walking.
The path ahead was dappled with morning shadows, winding through rolling hills splashed with wildflowers. Dew clung to every blade of grass, sparkling as the sun rose higher, promising a warm day. As they walked, the crunch of earth and stone under their boots became a steady, gentle beat, a background rhythm to their journey. The old man led with an easy stride, never rushed, never dawdling. Each pace was purposeful, shaped by years of letting the road set the tempo. He seemed to blend with the land itself, moving when birds launched from fence posts and pausing when a butterfly caught the light just so. The young traveler, feeling lighter in body and mind, began to match the old man's rhythm, no longer hurrying to keep up, but settling into a shared pace. The old man held a walking stick in each hand, utilizing them much like a skier, pushing his skis along the ground. The young man watched curiously and finally asked,
Why do you use two walking sticks? Most people only carry one.
The old man smiled, eyes twinkling with memory.
Years ago, I learned of a ski team. In the off-season, when there was no snow, they used ski poles to practice walking and maintain their strength and balance. It wasn't just about getting from place to place. It helped them move more efficiently, building the muscles and rhythm needed for skiing. Using two walking sticks keeps your posture steady and your steps balanced. It's a rhythm, almost like a dance.
He paused for a moment, then handed the young man one of his walking sticks.
Here, take this.
He said as a gift.
It will help you on your journey. One stick is all you need. May it serve you well, whether your path is smooth or rocky.
The young man took the walking stick gratefully, feeling the weight of the old man's kindness and the wisdom embedded in the simple gift. Miles slipped by almost unnoticed. Sometimes they spoke of stories the old man remembered, or questions the young man voiced about places he hoped to see. More often, though, their words gave way to comfortable silence, filled with the music of wind and the distant rush of a creek. The young traveler realized there was a peace in not filling every quiet space, that meaning lived just as easily in shared footsteps and open air as in conversation. Late in the morning, they stopped to rest on a sun-warmed boulder. The old man pulled out a small zipper case from his backpack and handed it to the young traveler, saying,
This is for you.
Looking inside, the young traveler saw a harmonica. The old man said,
I try to keep an extra harmonica just to give away, and now you have your own.
The young traveler was overcome with emotion, almost to tears, and could barely say thank you. Then the old man took his harmonica and played a long, lilting tune, his fingers moving deftly over the metal. The melody seemed to rise and fall with the land, echoing the slow breathing of the hills. The young traveler listened, then placed his harmonica to his lips, closed his eyes, and tried to join in as best he could, feeling a sense of belonging that went deeper than words. When their harmonica duet faded slowly to silence, they both smiled. After the music stopped, the old man said,
Since the start of my journey many years ago, I can't recall a day when I haven't played my harmonica. It's kept my breathing strong and relaxes my body. It also helps me to think and express how I feel. The simple act of playing helps open up your lungs and brings a sense of calm with every note. The harmonica lifts your mood, sharpens your focus, and connects you with people wherever you go. For storytellers, it's more than an instrument. It shapes your breath, gives rhythm to your tales, and weaves music into your words. And for those always on the move, its small size means you can easily travel with your harmonica. Learning to play the harmonica teaches you patience. Your desire to play should be strong enough for you to practice until the music sounds good to you. Once it does, instead of seeking out other music to listen to, you may prefer to enjoy music wherever you are, simply by playing your harmonica. This is much like how walking teaches you patience. At first, you might lose patience when walking, feeling as though you're getting nowhere fast and finding it tiring, until you realize that you see much more and have more opportunities to interact with people along the way, all while getting exercise. Once you discover that walking is a better way to travel than by vehicle, train, plane, or ship, you may always prefer walking as your method of travel.
The young man listened intently to the old man's advice, thankful for these nuggets of wisdom.
Sometimes it's enough to make life brighter to simply keep moving, to keep moving on. Step by step, the worries get quieter and the road becomes home.
The old man said as he tucked his harmonica into a zipper case and placed it in his backpack. Following his example, the young traveler put his harmonica into his zipper case and then into his own backpack. They resumed their journey, steps in sync now, sharing the gentle flow that walking together brought. Every so often, the old man would point out a hidden path or a patch of edible greens. Once, he paused to help a farmer gather runaway chickens and again to lift a child's kite from a tree. The young man saw how small actions created invisible ties, a network of kindness woven into the world as surely as the winding trail. By late afternoon, the sun cast their shadows long and thin across the fields. The young traveler realized that in their walking he had found something precious, a rhythm deeper than mere movement. It was the rhythm of living fully present, of moving through the world with open eyes and hands, learning to trust each step and each pause as part of the journey. They walked on together, the path stretching forward, as endless and inviting as the day.
Chapter 9. A shared meal, a shared moment.
The sun hung low in the sky as the two travelers arrived at a small village, its wooden fences softened by wild rose bushes and the promising smell of supper drifting through open windows. The old man and the young traveler paused along the village green, watching children chase a dog and elders settling onto their porches with quiet laughter. There was a communal warmth to the evening. As the newcomers found a spot beneath a spreading sycamore, the old man set his backpack down and rummaged for something to share. The young man, remembering his lessons, offered the soft bread he had bartered for earlier that afternoon. The old man produced a handful of wild blackberries picked from the wayside and a small wedge of cheese, gifts from an earlier act of kindness in a nearby town. They spread their meal out on a clean kerchief. The two spoke little at first, simply enjoying the food, the setting sun, and the gentle chatter of the villagers nearby. The old man's mind seemed to rest on the taste of each bite, his eyes reflecting an unhurried gratitude, as if even the simplest meal was worthy of reverence. The young traveler mirrored him unconsciously, chewing slowly and savoring the sweetness of the berries and the creaminess of the cheese. As twilight deepened, a child approached, a girl with tangled hair and curious eyes. She offered them a basket of still warm rolls. Shy but hopeful, the old man accepted with a grateful nod and broke a roll in two, sharing it with the young man and offering a piece back to the girl. She beamed, shy laughter brightening her eyes before she darted away to her family. The meal, modest yet complete, seemed to erase the boundaries between strangers and friends. The old man told a story of a stormy night long ago, when a stranger's soup had meant shelter and a new friendship. The young traveler listened, recognizing that food, like kindness, could open doors and hearts in ways words never could. As the meal finished, the old man played a gentle tune on his harmonica, its notes floating across the green and mingling with the night's arrival. Others listened from afar, some with smiles, others with silent appreciation, drawn in by the generosity that resonated among them. With the last light faded from the sky and the villagers heading home, the travelers gathered their things, tucking away the empty kerchief, thankful for the day's food and fellowship. The bonds created over shared bread and music lingered, unseen yet enduring, as they moved on, another memory quietly woven into the fabric of their journey.
Chapter 10. Finding the Flow.
Night descended quietly, painting the fields in shadow and silver. The old man and the young traveler made camp at the edge of a silent wood, the stars flickering awake above their heads. Firelight flickered gently, casting their faces in warm relief as they prepared to rest from another day's wandering. The young man stretched out on his blanket, still marveling at the day's easy passage.
I never realized how much lighter everything could feel.
He admitted, watching a moth dance across the fire's glow.
Not just the pack, but my mind. It's like the world moves with me now, instead of against me.
The old man nodded in agreement, as if he completely understood.
There's a current to every day if you listen for it. Sometimes it's a slow river, sometimes a lively creek. We find it by moving simply, open to what comes, trusting our feet and the road. On the journey, you'll discover things not often seen in the rush of everyday life, things about yourself and about the world. You learn patience, as the road does not always hurry. You learn to notice small kindnesses, a stranger's smile, the way sunlight falls through leaves, the quiet strength in your own breath, and how words and actions can change lives for the better. Worries, like stones in a stream, soften and smooth out when you keep moving forward, step by step. The journey reveals that home is not a place, but a feeling you carry within, made from openness, trust, and the courage to keep walking. Every ending is also a beginning, and sometimes the hardest steps bring the clearest views. If you dare to take the first step, the path will teach you to see things differently, finding peace in the uncertain, hope in the unknown, and a deeper love for the freedom you find on the journey.
He pulled his harmonica from his pocket, spinning it thoughtfully between his fingers.
I play for the day. Every tune fits the shape of where I am and who I'm with. If you try too hard to force a song, it never feels right. But when you let it come to you, when you listen to the world and the tune comes from within, that's when the melody finds you. If the melody moves you, makes you think and feel good things, then hopefully those who hear the tune will also think and feel good things. First of all, the music you play is for you. If you're not pleased with it, you cannot expect others to be pleased with it either.
After saying this, the old man lifted his instrument and let a stream of music glide softly into the night. The notes seemed to settle something deep inside the young traveler, the gentle bends and subtle rhythms echoing both the peace of the present and the promise of journeys still to come. The young man, quiet and thoughtful, watched his teacher carefully.
How do you keep it going?
He asked at last.
How do you keep from getting lost, or tired, or wanting more than you have?
The old man smiled, lines deepening around his eyes.
By being here, exactly as I am. The road gives what I need. When I'm hungry, I find food. When I'm lonely, I meet someone new. When I'm tired, I rest. There's no hurry, no chasing after something more.
He looked at the young traveler, the firelight reflected in his gaze.
The secret isn't where you go or what you get. It's how you move, how you notice. The world is always ready if you meet it with an open mind and are prepared to take action when inevitable opportunities come your way. These opportunities are not only chances for you to benefit or advance yourself, but also moments when you can help others in their time of need. By remaining open and responsive, you position yourself to make a positive difference, sometimes by pursuing your own growth, but more importantly, by supporting those around you when they need it most. Recognizing and acting upon genuine opportunities to give and be of service to others often proves far more rewarding and meaningful than simply receiving. Give of what you have, not only money and material possessions, but also kind words, wise and non-judgmental advice spoken with compassion, a smile, or physical help in accomplishing things. Giving is not just an act of kindness, it's the bridge that connects people and builds a world richer than any treasure. Think of your actions like a stone dropped into a still pond. The ripples spread far beyond the spot where the stone lands, touching places and people you may never see. Each act of kindness, every help you give, sends out waves that grow and multiply, shaping a world better than you alone could make. The waves grow and multiply because many of those affected by the waves will also begin to show acts of kindness to others.
A hush settled over the camp as the old man finished his song. Above them, the sky wheeled gently, the stars marking time in its patient patterns. The young traveler felt a rare sense of belonging, a quiet knowing that he too was part of the river's flow, a rhythm found not in rushing forward, but in being alive to each present moment. As they drifted into sleep, the woods around them soft with night sounds, the young traveler understood that the journey was not measured in miles, but in the quiet joy of moving fully, openly, and lightly through the days.
Chapter 11. A Night Under Infinite Stars.
The fire had died to embers, casting only the faintest amber glow onto the sleeping forms beside it. Above, the sky stretched immense and clear, a tapestry embroidered with stars so close the young traveler felt he could trace shapes among them with his fingertips. The old man noticed the young traveler gazing at the sky and said quietly,
Tonight, I'll teach you about this beautiful tapestry of the universe above us and how to use it as a map.
He began by explaining the difference between a constellation and an asterism.
A constellation,
He said,
is an officially recognized area of the sky, sections marked out by stargazers long ago, filled with many stars and often linked to myths and stories. An asterism, on the other hand, is a recognizable pattern or group of stars that may lie within one or even across several constellations. They're like the familiar shapes we find in the bigger picture.
Pointing upward, he started with Ursa Major, the Great Bear, a full constellation famous throughout the northern sky.
This great bear carries the Big Dipper in its shoulder and tail.
He explained.
The Big Dipper is an asterism, one of the easiest to spot. See how it looks like a ladle or dipper? You can use it to find the North Star.
Then he showed the Little Dipper, part of Ursa Minor, a smaller bear holding the North Star at the end of its handle.
This star stays almost fixed, guiding travelers for centuries.
Next was Orion, a full constellation easily spotted by its belt, 3 bright stars in a row.
Orion is the mighty hunter in the sky, visible through many winters, leading to nearby stars and constellations.
Not far away gleamed the Pleiades, also called the Seven Sisters, the brightest stars forming a tight cluster, an asterism that's part of the constellation Taurus.
Often thought of as a little cluster or a handful of stars,
He explained. Then came Cassiopeia, a constellation recognizable by its distinctive W or M shape formed by 5 bright stars.
known as the Queen's Chair, always visible in the northern sky, dancing opposite the Big Dipper.
He pointed to Scorpius, a constellation shaped like a scorpion, its curved tail and bright red heart star helping travelers know summer's arrival. Lastly, he traced Cygnus, the swan, whose brightest stars form the Northern Cross asterism that is easily spotted on summer nights. The old man's voice softened.
The night sky isn't just beauty, it's a guide, a compass. I use these stars to know which way to travel. The Big and Little Dippers point me north, and the shape of Cassiopeia helps when the dipper is hidden. Remember, the sun is a star too, the closest and brightest one to Earth. Sometimes you can see bright stars or planets during daylight, like Venus, if you know where to look and the sky is clear. They too can help. Understanding the sun's journey and the patterns of stars, day and night, lets a traveler move with nature's rhythm never lost. This sky,
The old man said softly,
is not only a magnificent ceiling for our home, but also helps travelers like us find our way.
The young traveler listened, entranced by the glowing patterns above. With the old man's patient guidance, he learned to find each constellation and asterism for himself, and with it came a deeper sense of connection to the vastness of the sky above and the journey ahead. He lay awake on his blanket, the sounds of the forest both unfamiliar and comforting, the rhythmic trill of crickets, the rustling of leaves, and the hooting of owls. A breeze stirred, carrying the scent of pine and distant rain. Tonight, sleep did not come easily. Instead, the young traveler found his mind wandering, not with worry, but with wonder. He thought of towns left behind and roads untraveled, people whose kindness had warmed their days, and the shifting pattern of moments that had led him here. There was peace now where before he'd carried unease, a sense that even the unknown could be a companion. The old man, sensing his wakefulness, opened one eye and offered a soft grin.
Hard to sleep under a sky like this.
He whispered.
It all feels so big.
He murmured.
And I feel small, but not lost.
The old man propped himself up on one elbow.
The sky is wide, but each star matters, each light matters, each kindness matters, every step matters. We are all part of the same story, playing different roles. The best stories are those where everyone plays their true self and does their best.
They rested, feeling content and thankful to be together on this planet Earth beneath the vast sky. Eventually, the old man opened his battered notebook and, by the fire's last glow, scribbled a few lines as a quiet record of the day. The young traveler watched, understanding how every story shines brighter for the soul that pauses in gratitude, finding wonder in each fleeting moment. Before long, the old man slept again, his breaths joining the forest's gentle chorus. The young traveler stayed awake a little longer, eyes full of constellations and gratitude. Thinking about the start of his journey until now, he realized he was exactly where he needed to be, in the journey, grounded on Earth, connected both to the world beside him and the stars above, a small part of something infinite, and knowing this was enough to be content. Lying beneath the stars, the young traveler thought of the old man's wandering ways and felt deep gratitude for the freedom and generosity in such a life. He realized that he, too, was embracing simplicity, living unbound by routine, guided not only by curiosity, but also by thoughtful reflection, with his thoughts and actions anchored in kindness. Yet he knew not all journeys were alike. Each person blazes a different trail, shaped by unique dreams and hopes. How dull the world would be if everyone walked the same path. In these differences, he saw beauty, people contributing in countless ways, through work, a helping hand, or quiet acts of care. Whatever the path, if it makes the world better and honors the golden rule, it will make the world a more wonderful place to live. What matters most, he thought, is not sameness, but the richness of many paths, each soul adding color and kindness. No one stands alone. We all need each other's ideas and skills, for no single life fits all. As for finding one's path, he believed it came from reflection and bold exploration, listening to your dreams, embracing new experiences, and learning from both success and failure. The journey itself is the greatest teacher, revealing over time what feels true and meaningful. And he knew this. Had he never taken that first step, he would not be here now, under the stars, feeling at home in the world and making a difference for the better.
Chapter 12. Questions of the Inner Self.
Morning came softly, light filtering through the branches and painting gentle patterns on the ground. The young traveler stirred, his mind drifting between dreams and the memory of stars. Across the dying embers, the old man sat cross-legged, sipping tea and watching the new day unfold. With the campsite cleaned and backpacks packed, the old man simply said,
Journey on.
They walked in silence for a while, boots brushing aside dew, awestruck by the world around them. But something lingered in the young traveler's mind. As the road curved past a sunlit vineyard, the young traveler glanced at his companion.
Why did you choose this way of living?
He asked, words quiet but filled with genuine curiosity.
Didn't you ever want something else? A home, a family, the certainty everyone chases?
The old man smiled, his gaze fixed on a hawk circling above the fields.
I didn't always know what I wanted,
He replied,
but I learned over time that what matters isn't how much you have or even where you end up. It's what fills your days as you journey, what you share, how you give, and what you learn to love along the way.
They paused in the shadow of a chestnut tree, the road humming softly with birdsong. The young traveler pressed on.
Aren't you ever lonely? Don't you miss the people you leave behind?
There's sadness sometimes,
The old man admitted, setting his cup on a tree root.
but I'm never truly alone. Every step brings new faces, new kindnesses, and somewhere an old story waiting to be told. When you open your inner self to each moment, you find connection everywhere, even in silence, even alone.
The young traveler sat, letting the answer settle. He noticed the ease in the old man's posture, the absence of regret. There was peace in him, not an absence of longing, but an acceptance of all that came and all that passed away.
How do you know when you're on the right path?
The young traveler asked.
You know because you wake with purpose and sleep with gratitude.
The old man replied,
If you find yourself offering something small to the world each day, kindness, music, a good story, you are living well, and the rest takes care of itself. If you find you are no longer doing that, then you should correct your course. There are many things in life you cause to happen, like debt, overvaluing money and possessions, clutter and disorganization, people-pleasing that leaves you drained, poor health, and chronic worry. They can rob you of peace as surely as any hardship. Even regret, negative self-talk, and guilt can hold you captive if you let them. True freedom comes not from avoiding hardship, but from learning to let go, forgive yourself, and move lightly, carrying only what nourishes your inner self. When I lose my peace, I often find that I lost it because of my own actions, not because of others. If you lose your peace, know you have the power to change, to begin again, to do what is right for you and others. True happiness blooms not from what we receive, but from the joy of giving.
As a breeze rustled the leaves, the two sat for a while, letting the questions and answers drift between them, sifted by time and sunlight. The young traveler realized the greatest lessons were not always spoken, but lived, woven into every gesture, every step, every pause of openness on the journey. When they rose again, bags a little lighter and spirits quietly buoyed, the road seemed less daunting, the world a little more kind. Their questions had not disappeared. They simply had learned to carry them together without letting them weigh down the joy in their stride.
Chapter 13. Farewells at the Crossroads.
The road forked just beyond a cluster of old oak trees, where the fields rolled away toward distant hills and the promise of different journeys. The old man and the young traveler stood at the crossroads in the golden hush of late afternoon, their shadows stretching beside them. A gentle breeze played through the leaves, carrying the scent of sun-warmed earth and the far-off music of a shepherd's flute. For a while, they said nothing, letting the moment fill with quiet understanding. The young traveler held his lighter pack, shoulders relaxed, gaze steady. He looked at the weathered lines of his companion's face, the kindness in his eyes, and the patience that had carried them through many miles.
You'll be going east?
The young traveler asked, pointing to the track that disappeared between tall pines. The old man nodded, a small, encouraging smile on his lips.
There's a valley I have not walked in a long time, and people I think who might like a story and a song.
The young traveler looked west, where the coast and his hopes waited, wide and bright. The anticipation that once felt like fear now stirred as possibility. There was so much still unknown, but it did not weigh him down anymore. The old man slowly lifted a small leather-bound book from his pack, its pages blank and waiting for stories. With a steady hand, he pressed the book and pen into the traveler's palm and said,
Within these pages lies the power to capture your journey. Every story, every song, every thought. Begin now to write your journey, stories, songs, and thoughts to share with others along your travels. May your words flow like rivers, deep and true, weaving a tapestry to guide and inspire. Carry this book with courage, and may your journey be as boundless as the pages yet to be written. With your harmonica, play the tune that reflects the place you find yourself in.
the old man said.
Let each day shape your tune. And remember, showing kindness to others is as necessary to a fulfilled life as breathing. All it takes to make a harmonica tune is breathing and willingness to share your travels with others.
Their eyes met for a moment. Teacher and student, fellow wanderers joined by something deeper than words. Quiet gratitude grew between them, a bond forged by shared meals, stories, songs, questions, and silent steps through dawn and night. Their parting was not dramatic. The old man lifted his hand in a steady wave.
Journey on,
He said simply.
and never hurry past the small wonders.
The young traveler watched him go for a time, the old man blending into the green world and the ease of the endless road. He took out his harmonica and played a gentle tune, reflecting that, like a song, every journey contains both an ending and a beginning. When one chapter ends, it is best to start anew, to journey on. With a deep breath, he chose his path and stepped forward, his stride confident and free, the music of the road waiting to be found each day.
Chapter 14. Passing on the Journey.
The young traveler walked west, the old man's harmonica nestled in his pocket, its weight both reassuring and inspiring. Each step echoed with the lessons of his journey. His pack no longer an anchor, but a companion filled only with what he truly needed. The road unfolded before him like a blank page, unknown, unhurried, and rich with possibility. Villages came and went. In one, he fixed a broken gate, recalling the old man's gentle patience. In another, he played harmonica at dusk, the melody drawing a small crowd, their faces lit with quiet wonder. He traded stories and laughter for supper, gave an extra shirt to a boy with nothing but a smile, and shared what food he could gather. It was not always easy. There were cold nights and empty stomachs, and days when the loneliness pressed in, heavy and real. Like the old man before him, the traveler found solace in little kindnesses, a stranger's wave, a patch of wild berries, and the music he coaxed from his harmonica. Sometimes, hearing the notes, he remembered the campfire's warmth and the guidance he had been given. With each breath of song, a part of that wisdom lived on. As he traveled, others sometimes fell in step, a shy girl learning to trust the world, an elderly widower seeking stories, a lost hiker hungry for bread and advice. He welcomed them, sharing his path, his food, and his time, never a teacher, but a fellow wanderer, offering all he had learned. Gradually, he realized the journey was no longer about following footsteps, but about making his own. With each encounter, every story and act of kindness given and received, he saw how the road offered its gifts in return, both small and profound. He learned to notice the rhythm of each day, to welcome uncertainty, and to let genuine peace be his compass, guiding the way. At twilight, when the sky was wide and the world paused in golden light, he sat beside a new friend and played harmonica, the melody shaped by that day, that place, and by sharing presence. The music, born of wandering and wonder, became a new story, one the young traveler was now ready to pass along.
Chapter 15. The Young Wanderer continues.
The days lengthened with the approach of summer, painting the world in gentle color as the young wanderer pressed on. The road had become his companion, sometimes solitary, sometimes shared, always whispering invitations. With each step, he carried a sense of quiet purpose, not toward a destination, but within each moment he lived. There were new towns, a busy marketplace filled with song, a sleepy coastal village brushed by wind and sea. In each place, the traveler moved with assurance, open to story and surprise. He bartered a tune for breakfast, fixed a fence for a cup of coffee, and greeted uncertainty with a smile. His pack was light, his manner lighter still. His harmonica remained close, not only an echo of his teacher, but a way to find connection wherever he stopped. Its tones at dusk brought laughter from children, comfort to the lonely, and drew strangers near. He shared stories, sometimes his own, sometimes those gathered along the way, always listening as much as he spoke, knowing everyone's journey deserved space to unfold. When he met those burdened by worry, he shared more than advice. Sometimes he offered berries, a scarf, or simply kindness and companionship, assuring, even without words, that every traveler moving by their own moral compass is moving towards something worthy. Often, beneath the stars or in the quiet of early morning, he felt the old man's presence at his side, a memory now transformed into guidance, always gentle, always near. For all the open roads, he recognized one unchanging truth. There was joy in the journey, in the giving and receiving, in savoring what each day brought. He continued, not searching for meaning somewhere far ahead, but finding it step by step, song by song, and kindness by kindness along the way. As the horizon opened with every dawn, his story moved on, woven into new places, new hearts, a melody carried in the simplest acts and in the endless, generous road. And when the journey became difficult, he remembered the old man's words.
Journey on.
The end.
The two main characters in this episode were two travelers that played harmonica. The harmonica found its way into the cultures of cowboys, hobos, frontiersmen, railroad workers, blues musicians, folk musicians, and even soldiers, largely because of its unique and practical qualities. Its small size, lightweight, and durable construction made it an ideal companion for those always on the move, whether journeying by horseback, hopping a freight train, or marching into unfamiliar territory. Unlike most instruments, the harmonica tucks easily into a pocket or pack, never adding much burden, and survives the bumps and weather of life on the road. For cowboys around the campfire, the harmonica was a way to bring music to lonely nights, settle restless cattle, and share stories in melody when words ran dry. Hobos and migratory laborers could easily slip a harmonica into their jacket, providing comfort, creative expression, and a friend for the long stretches between destinations. Railroad workers, miners, and soldiers found it perfect for breaks and gatherings. Simple to carry and always ready to lift spirits or unite a group in song. Blues and folk musicians embrace the harmonica both for its expressive and soulful sound and for its affordability, portability, and accessibility. Nearly anyone could afford one, and, with practice, create music that speaks to the musician as well as resonates with the listening audience. Even if you are not part of these groups, there are compelling reasons to play the harmonica. It is one of the most portable and affordable instruments, requiring little space and no electricity. The harmonica is easy for beginners to start, but it also offers rich depth and expression for a lifetime of learning. It improves breathing and mindfulness, lets you play melodies, chords, and rhythms all at once, and provides a direct emotional outlet, whether you're alone in contemplation or brightening someone's day. Playing harmonica connects you with a worldwide musical tradition that spans cultures and generations, offering both personal and communal joy. In its simplicity, versatility, and accessibility, the harmonica remains a perfect companion for anyone's journey, wherever and whoever you are. Playing harmonica can also bring surprising health and well-being benefits for both body and mind. When you play the harmonica, you take deep, controlled breaths in and out, which helps strengthen your diaphragm and the muscles you use to breathe. This can increase your lung capacity, improve how efficiently you exchange oxygen, and build your stamina over time. In fact, harmonica playing is sometimes used as a support tool in respiratory therapy for people with conditions like COPD or asthma, and is shown to help maintain or improve lung function. Because playing requires precise breath coordination, it also helps with breath control, a skill that's helpful for singers, athletes, and anyone seeking to improve their breathing. The benefits aren't limited to the lungs. Slow, deep breathing as you play stimulates the vagus nerve, which helps to lower your blood pressure and heart rate, promoting a relaxed state that's good for your heart. Mentally, the focused breathing and musical expression involved in playing the harmonica can have a calming effect that reduces stress and anxiety, promotes mindfulness, and boosts your mood by triggering the release of endorphins. That sense of being in the moment and creating music can make you feel happier and more present. The harmonica's voice-like tone allows players to express and process emotions, making it a tool for emotional healing. There are also clear benefits for the brain and nervous system. Learning to play and practicing melodies activates memory, coordination, and problem-solving areas in the brain, and engaging in music over time helps preserve cognitive skills and may even lower the risk of dementia as we age. Playing harmonica involves careful coordination of hands, lips, and tongue, sharpening fine motor skills and coordination. Socially, playing harmonica is often a shared activity. It's portable, fun to play in groups, and encourages connection and creative expression. Making music with others builds community, lifts self-esteem, and supports creativity as you learn new songs or improvise. Therapeutically, playing harmonica can also help people relax before bedtime, improving sleep quality, and serve as a source of distraction and pain relief, much like music therapy in clinical settings. Because it involves careful control of breathing and forming sounds, harmonica playing is also used in speech therapy to support the development of speech and articulation. In summary, harmonica playing offers a wealth of ongoing health and well-being benefits woven together into one fulfilling experience. Regularly playing the harmonica strengthens breathing and lung function, providing natural therapy for certain lung conditions. The act of deep, rhythmic breathing when playing harmonica promotes relaxation and supports heart health. As you play, the soothing focus on breath and melody eases stress, lifts your mood, and encourages a sense of mindfulness, helping you feel more present in each moment. Learning and performing music with the harmonica stimulates the brain, helping you maintain strong memory, coordination skills, and mental agility throughout life. It also sharpens fine motor abilities, as your hands, lips, and tongue must work in harmony with each note. Beyond the physical and cognitive benefits, playing harmonica sparks creativity, offers opportunities for self-expression, and helps build social connections, whether you're sharing music with others or playing alone. This musical practice can even promote better sleep, provide a gentle tool for pain relief, and support effective speech development for those working on articulation. Whether you're making music alone or with friends, playing the harmonica offers a simple, enjoyable way to nurture both your physical health and your sense of well-being. If you have an interest in playing harmonica, the following information may help in choosing between a diatonic and a chromatic harmonica. A diatonic harmonica is the most common type and usually has 10 holes. It's designed primarily for playing blues, folk, country, and rock. You can bend notes for expressive effects, which is a hallmark of blues and folk music. Diatonic harmonicas are compact, portable, easy to start learning basics on, widely available, and generally affordable. However, they are limited to playing in their designated key and closely related keys, so to play songs in different keys, you'd need several different harmonicas. Some notes are only available through bending, which can be tricky for beginners, and playing chromatic scales or complex jazz classical melodies is difficult. A chromatic harmonica, by contrast, is usually larger, commonly with 12 holes, and is equipped with a button-activated slide. This slide lets you access all the sharps and flats, enabling you to play any of the 12 notes in the chromatic scale. Chromatic harmonicas are versatile and suitable for almost any style, including jazz, classical, pop, and blues. You don't need to bend notes to reach sharps and flats, which makes it easier to play complex melodies. The rich, full tone and ability to play full chromatic scales means you can explore a wide range of music. The trade-off is that they're heavier, more expensive, and have a steeper learning curve for beginners. Some chromatic harmonicas, like the Forerunner 2.0 12-hole chromatic harmonica made by Easttop, allow easy bending of the notes, like a diatonic harmonica does. If you could only choose one harmonica, a 12-hole chromatic harmonica in the key of C is often the best all-around choice. The key of C is standard for teaching and learning, so you'll find the most learning resources for it. The 12 holes give you a broad range of notes and octaves, and with the slide, you can play in any key, making it the one harmonica for all styles. It's ideal if you want melodic playing, soloing, or wish to explore more than just blues and folk. While a chromatic harmonica does take time and practice to master, its versatility and musical potential make it a great investment for a lifelong musical companion. Easttop harmonicas are known for their quality and affordability. If you are on a budget and can choose only one harmonica, our recommendation would be the Forerunner 2.0 made by Easttop, available using the affiliate link in the description area of this podcast episode or directly from their website, www.easttop-harmonica.com. The remainder of this podcast episode is music. A link to the story transcript and song lyrics can be found in the description area of this episode. Now, let's proceed with the music.
As the sun rose over a quiet stretch of earth, a lone traveler set out on a dusty road. The journey unfolded not for the sake of arriving, but for the act of listening to one's own thoughts, to the stories shared by strangers, to the hush that settles before dusk. Along the route, this wayfarer paused to mend broken fences, at times to tend wounded spirits. Gradually, a profound truth revealed itself. The world's greatest hunger is seldom for bread alone, but for the company and kindness found in others, for safety, hope, and stories and songs meant to soothe, guide, and instruct, rather than judge. Villages and crossroads drifted by. Some faces offered smiles of greeting, while others concealed hidden sorrow. Wherever the opportunity arose, the traveler shared a meal beside a campfire, a freely given story. Sometimes a song or a tune on their harmonica, an outstretched hand, never expecting anything in return with each act of compassion. The weight of the journey lessened, and the path ahead glowed with renewed promise. Burdens took many forms along the road. Some revealed sorrow in every step. Others kept pain concealed within. Letting go of regrets, material possessions, or even the lingering fear of loneliness, not only lightened their burdens, but also created space for things like relationships, growth, purpose, presence, spirituality, joy, freedom, and generosity. On nights when the world felt impossibly vast, the search for comfort turned toward faith, embracing the notion of something greater, a guiding presence woven through all things. Simple moments along the road offered solace and served as reminders. No soul truly walks alone. Time moved forward, meeting new companions. The traveler sought to lead by example, staying to assist when moving on would have been easier, giving even when little remained, listening so another might feel worthy of being heard. Every journey marked with hope and kindness, promised to inspire others long after the traveler's footprints faded in the dust. At each farewell, the traveler left more than directions, offering the memory of shared kindness and the warmth of walking together. Even if briefly in the lives touched by these moments, hope endured. Through small acts of kindness, lives can change for the better. And even the journey itself may become a home, always open to the world's homeless and abandoned. Every life unfolds as a journey for the one who walks with purpose. The goal remains simple: to uplift others, hold on to faith, and keep moving forward. The traveler's parting words before continuing on their journey were simply, journey on. because of where they're headed, but so they can listen deeply to themselves, to strangers, to the flow of the river and the hush before dusk. They learn to mend a stranger's fence, also to mend what is broken in a stranger's life. And recognizing hunger is more than not having bread, but a hunger for company, for safety, for a song that doesn't judge. Realizing that people are hungering for more than physical nourishment, hungering for a life with greater depth, meaning, and connection, hungering for kindness and compassion, authentic relationships, personal growth and wisdom, unconditional love, hope and faith, meaningful purpose, mindfulness, being alive in the moment, freedom, inner peace, gratitude, joy, and connection to nature. To nature. Kindness is not a philosophy in words. It is the quiet act of sharing what you have, letting another's burden rest beside your own, never looking down on another person except when reaching down to help them up. Home is not a place they leave behind, as the journey is their home, with each moment of grace folded into the journey, a shared meal, a story, a hand outstretched without condition. They see how burdens, whether shown in their countenance, hidden deep inside their souls, shape the way each mile is walked. They learn that what is let go, possessions, regret, worry, the fear of being alone, leaves space for the things more important, such as relationships, growth, purpose, presence, spirituality, joy, freedom, giving. When the world feels vast and uncertain, they lean on what they cannot see, but know is there a quiet strength calling them to rise above doubt and fear. There is comfort in believing there is something greater, a guiding presence that connects all things, reminding them to hope, to love, and to trust that they are never truly alone, giving them the courage, strength, and wisdom to journey on. Meeting young people starting out on their own journeys, they recognize themselves as they once were, anxious to prove, to arrive, unsure what to carry or set down. Their journey as they live it becomes the lesson for others beginning their journey, with every kindness exchanged, every voice heard, every silence honored, every sorrow overcome, and every challenge met with courage and perseverance. Their living example is wordless, with action speaking louder than words, staying on to help someone in need, even when it's easier to
listening, not only for answers, but so another may feel worthy to speak. When two people's journeys part ways, what remains is not advice or a map, but the memory of walking without hurry, sharing what is most needed in each new place, and hope that their journey together made the world a better place, with each traveler looking forward to continuing their journey, sharing and giving without judgment or expecting something in return. The wanderer's hope is that their trail will outlast their footprints, and that each soul they meet will, in turn, become a living example of acts of kindness, changing lives for the better. There's a quiet hour before the world wakes, when the air is thick with possibility. Sometimes the first step is the hardest, not because the road is steep, but because you leave behind the certainty of standing still.
Every journey starts with a question, not knowing what you'll find. Maps can't reveal life's truest direction, or the courage to leave your blues behind.
You'll meet kindness in the smallest places, a warm loaf, a stranger's smile, a song drifting through an open window. Sometimes losing your way is the only way to find yourself.
Wrong turns aren't failures, they're the shape of becoming. Every detour, every shadow teaches you something you couldn't have known.
Grief is a silent teacher, loneliness a patient guide. The world keeps turning and you learn to walk on, even when the path is hidden.
It's not the place you reach, but the steps you take. Not the end of the road, but the choices you make.
Sometimes Sometimes you'll find yourself beneath unfamiliar stars, wondering who you are becoming. You'll realize the journey changes you, softens and strengthens you, teaches you to listen, to trust, to begin again.
The path you choose shapes who you'll be. With every risk, every kindness, every leap, let the road unfold. Let your story be told. With the courage to keep walking on.
And when you pause, you will know the journey itself is home. The story of your journey chronicles who you have become. Sometimes losing your way is the only way to find yourself.
Those who wait for the perfect path may never take the first step. Sometimes losing your way is the only way to find yourself.
You wander not to find escape, but to find yourself, the person you've never fully known. For there is wisdom found in the journey that remaining behind would not have shown.
The map for many is drawn by one, but sometimes better to draw your map alone. No lesson learned is at the summit that wasn't learned down in the dust. Each detour bends the soul toward humility and trust.
Kindness is the lantern when the trail goes dark. It lights the way forward. Encourage others to start a journey of finding answers of what in this life really matters. Let the roads unravel the questions. Let your steps calm your fears. No journey is without purpose, even through sun, rain, pain, and tears.
The ones who become whole are not those who never strayed, but those that journeyed, even if slow, journeying on, no matter how steep the grade. It is not the destination that defines you, but the direction of your steps. Don't fear to tread on uncharted trails. It's in unexpected places answers are unveiled. Don't worry about what the naysayers say. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find your way.
Path unseen, sometimes people fear, but in the journey, cloudy becomes clear. What you are searching for is hard to define until you leave your yesterdays behind.
Life's shifting sands, they never wait for structured plans at a later date.
In shattered dreams you start anew. With each step forward you are breaking through to a better place where friends are true, kind and accepting who you are, the true you. The journey is a winding upward climb that will reveal answers in due time. Not lost but finding, shaping who we will be. Not at the destination, but in the journey we find liberty. Hand extended, a simple smile, stranger's kindness, worth every mile. Shared stories linger soft and low, a bridge connecting, helping us grow. The wrong turns taken, not a fall, but lessons learned, not a brick wall. An opportunity to see the world from a different view, as life really is, in every shade, in every hue. Those who wait for the perfect path may never take the first step. Sometimes losing your way is the only way to find yourself. The journey is a winding upward climb that will reveal answers in due time. Not lost but finding, shaping who we will be. Not at the destination, but in the journey we find liberty. It is not the destination that determines who you are.
It is the journey that will take you far.
So keep moving on, keep moving on. Each step you take brings you closer home. You are where you need to be, no matter how far you roam. Because no matter where you travel, the journey is your home. One last advice I share with you: where the skies are gray or skies are blue, is to keep moving on, keep moving on, because the journey is your home.
Sunny day, letting all my troubles melt away. Blue sky above, feeling loved, and everything's okay. Just walking on a sunny day. Me through and through, every cloud drifts slow. For every breath I'm grateful, and for the friends I know. No need for a destination, I wonder where I may. Happiness is easy when I'm walking on a sunny day. I give a smile, I lend a hand to strangers on my way. Kindness grows like flowers, blooming bright along the pathway. The love I give comes back again in quiet, gentle ways. And I feel love all around me when I'm walking on a sunny day. On a sunny day, letting all my troubles melt away. Blue sky above, feeling loved, and everything's okay. Just walking on a sunny day. Just walking on a sunny day. With the sunshine
Listen, my friends, take a walk on the land. Let your burdens fall in the shifting sand. With a battered old pack and a course that's true. Journey on, be the best you through and through.
There once was an old wandering man, crossed oceans and meadows, over sea, over land. His treasures were simple, a backpack, a song, a story, a smile, as he journeyed on.
Journey on, journey on, journey on. Tell your story, sing your song. Give what you can, take only what you need. Wisdom before wealth is a good choice indeed.
He traded his tales for bread at the inn, and played his harmonica with a wrinkled grin. Helped the lost and the lonely find their way home. Felt lighter and freer the more he roamed.
Journey on, journey on, journey on. Tell your story, sing your song. Give what you can, take only what you need. Wisdom before wealth is a good choice indeed. Home is not a harbor nor one place on land.
It is to journey on is the plan.
So lighten your pack, let worries go. Journey on,
Journey on.
wise and slow. Under stars, chart your course, sing your song. A compass of kindness will guide you along. No chain or anchor can hold a good wanderer back. You may be slow, but keep moving on, stay on track. Just take that first step toward freedom, don't delay. Your compass of kindness will guide your way. Journey on, wander free. Journey on, whether by land or by sea. Share your stories and share your songs. Share acts of kindness and journey on. Journey on.
So pass it on, kindness, stories and song. Trade bondage for freedom and journey on. The end of the road, just a new refrain, a reminder to journey on through the sun and rain. Journey on, journey on, journey on. Journey on, journey on, journey on. Start, don't stop. Journey on, journey on.
Sometimes we don't know where our journey will lead until we take that first step. It's only by beginning that the path ahead reveals itself. Along the way we may find ourselves straying from the familiar road, and it's often in these moments of uncertainty that we realize whether we're heading in the right direction. What feels like a wrong turn may actually be an opportunity to start course rather than a reason to start over completely.
True adventure and growth come from the courage to explore the unknown, but also from the wisdom to discern which highways and byways are worth venturing down. Let your choices be guided, not just by curiosity, but by thoughtful reflection.
So that even when you wander, you move toward new possibilities, not further off course.
Remember, the journey itself is as important as the destination.
Begin boldly, travel wisely and trust each step. Whether you are on the main road or a winding trail, make wise choices, for your journey will shape the person you become. I used to chase the world's gold and its gleam, filled my rooms with treasures, lived someone else's dream. But every shiny trophy, every shiny object weighed heavy on me, another meaningless project.
gather more, fill your hands and homes. But the more I tried to hold, the greater my melancholy syndrome. I traded crowded closets for a single bag to pack, and found I was not as burdened with my life upon my back. The world's possessions weigh you down like anchors on your soul. Place everything you truly need in a backpack to be no longer broken but whole. Having more, not less, of freedom, friends, and time. Not thinking so much about what is yours or mine. Let go of what you cannot keep and watch your burdens flee. No goal too far, no mountain too steep. Letting go will set you free. The less you own, the more you find that when not burdened down, the higher you climb. A passport, a notebook, a worn pair of shoes, a backpack full of stories, nothing left to lose. The world's heavy riches can't buy the open sky, but just a pack upon your shoulders, you will learn to fly. Lighter, the sun upon my face, no longer weighed by worries. I move at my own pace. The world's possessions gather dust, but freedom travels light. A single bag, a brand new start, and stars to guide me through the night. Says gather more, fill your hands and homes. But the more I tried to hold, the greater my melancholy syndrome. I traded crowded closets for a single bag to pack, and found I was not as burdened with my life upon my back. The world's possessions weigh you down like anchors on your soul. Place everything you truly need in a backpack to be no longer broken but whole. Having more, not less, of freedom, friends, and time. Not thinking so much about what is yours or mine. Let go of what you cannot keep and watch your burdens flee. No goal too far, no mountain too steep. Letting go will set you free. The less you own, the more you find that when not burdened down, the higher you climb. Just a pack and open road, I found the way was gone. The world is wide, my load is light, and now I travel on.
is a beautiful place. Breathe it out, communicate with the human race. Play your harmonica, let the worries slip away. Breathe it in, breathe it out, at the start of every day.
Breathe in the morning sunlight, strong and wide. You find your freedom breathing on mountain trail or ocean tide.
Bending notes and soulful wails, gentle on the tongue, building courage and strength in your mind and in your lungs. Every note encouraging, every tune a friend, a melody for mending, for the hurt that doesn't end.
Confused, got nothing to lose, not sure what it's all about.
Relax, don't worry, play your harmonica, breathe in, breathe out. Just breathe in, breathe out. Just breathe in, breathe out.
To ease mind and body, relieve a worry and doubt. Put your harmonica to your lips and breathe in, breathe out.
Breathe in, slow and easy, deep into your chest. Breathe out, providing mind and body a rest.
A little musical instrument to hold against your lips. Carry it to campfires on lonely midnight trips.
Let it bring joy and laughter. Close your eyes and try. The world feels kinder when a tune is drifting by.
Feels like meditation with every measured breath. Breathing a comforting tune keeps you strong against regret.
It gets your act together, mind and soul in tune. Pain recedes to silence, sorrow leaves the room.
Share music down the river or across a city street. Music can be a gift, a treasure, a treat for those you meet.
When you are sad and lonely, feeling a little low, let the harmonica remind you you're braver, happier than you know.
Each long exhale, each gentle draw,
a solution for worry, a welcoming call.
Endorphins rise and happiness soar.
You play a harmonica, be sad no more.
In the quiet, in the noise, harmonica's your voice. Playing a harmonica is a wise and happy choice.
Come gather around the old campfire, feel the soulful vibes. Pick up a harmonic, play along is what I prescribe. Breathe in,
breathe out.
Relax, don't worry, play your harmonica, breathe in, breathe out. Just breathe in, breathe out. Let your harmonica be hope, be comfort, help you think. The more you play, the more you'll find worries shrink. Breathe in, breathe out. Easy, lightly, let your music flow.
The song you play will brighten the day, wherever you may go.
Journey on. Tell your story. Sing your song. Paths may part and winds may shift, but stories and songs are a timeless gift. As you journey on, tell your story, sing your song. The journey is our home.
journey, not the destination, is our home. So journey on, journey on, journey on. Tell your story, sing your song, for tomorrow you may be gone. As you journey on, tell your story, sing your song. Journey on, journey on, journey on. The old traveling backpacker had wandered through countless towns and cities, gathering stories and memories like treasures. One crisp autumn afternoon, found himself strolling along a quiet street lined with small shops. His eyes caught a young boy standing inside a music store, gazing intently into the glass case where a gleaming silver harmonica rested. The boy's eyes shone with longing and dreams as he imagined the melodies he could play. But his state of poverty placed the harmonica far beyond his reach. Moved by the boy's quiet yearning, the backpacker smiled softly to himself. When the boy exited the store,
The backpacker carefully removed a harmonica from his worn leather pack, approached the boy, and gently placed the harmonica into his hands. This is the harmonica of your dreams, the old man said kindly. When you help someone else's dreams take flight, you give wings not only to them, but to the future they imagine. The boy's eyes widened in surprise and gratitude as he blew the first note. A world of possibilities blossomed before him. The backpacker watched with quiet joy, knowing he had given more than an instrument. He had gifted a future filled with hope and music. The boy looked up at the old traveler and said, "Thank you." The old traveler replied, "You're welcome, journey on," then turned around and continued on his way.